The tribal administration building was evacuated after that earthquake. Everything turned out to be okay, but it happened as the tribe is already dealing with that massive wildfire nearby. Taylor Vito reports from Nespelem tonight.
Tribal employees came out of this building you see behind me, many of them confused. Some thought there was an explosion nearby.
Running through my mind was something blew up first.
Well, what a way for Flodell Williams to start her Tuesday morning. She was sitting at her computer desk doing work when
we felt a little rumble and then a big boom, and my first reaction is to get up and get everybody out.
And that's just what happened. The tribal administration building was calmly evacuated.
Kind of shook the whole building, and we moved her. I felt it moved my feet anyway.
Of course, there was no damage to report. While it turned out to be an earthquake, some here tell me they initially didn't think it was that. They said it felt more like an explosion. Nearby, a pair of helipads, at least one associated with the North Star Fire base camp. Some thought one of the choppers might have crashed.
If it wasn't the plane crash or anything like that, my thoughts were, is it a volcano erupting?
But on that note, you can add this earthquake to the list of things keeping this small community on its toes. The rare earthquake comes as hundreds of firefighters are battling the massive North Star wildfire that's burned more than 200,000 acres.
And it kind of makes me get spiritual for a second because I want to make sure that I'm good and then everybody else around me is good too.
So far, that mostly seems to be the case. The North Star fire hasn't destroyed any homes, and there's no damage to report from the earthquake. In Nespelem, Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
And right after that earthquake hit, many of you took to social media to tell us how far away you were able to feel it. Take a look. This is a map of just some of the places our viewers were able to feel the quake. Roxanne tells us she felt it about 15 miles north of Moses Lake. Ashley says Cusick got a little shaking. In Chelan, Sarah Lynn tells us one of her co-workers felt the quake, but the person in the next cubicle did not. Dottie says it rattled the windows in Oroville. And Sherry in Grand Forks, British Columbia felt the rattling too.
Heard from many of you who felt shaking in parts of the St. Louis area this afternoon. Meteorologist Kristen Cornett has been looking into those reports and has the details on what happened. Kristen.
You know, it took a little bit of time for the U.S. Geological Survey to put out the report, so we were certainly doing a little speculating in the newsroom, but we did finally get that report, and here is what it says. It happened at 5:23 p.m. An earthquake of magnitude 2.5, 5 miles northwest of Imperial, 5 miles southwest of Arnold, so right around that Spring Forest area. You see where I have the yellow dot. Light shaking was felt. Don't have any report of any sort of damage, nothing of that nature, a very minor earthquake.
3 days ago still has people in York County puzzled. That's because it left a rather large hole in the ground. You see it here. Tonight, no one seems to know for sure what caused it. Our Michael Clark is live in York tonight. Michael, I understand the mystery could be criminal.
Yeah, that's right. The sheriff's office launched a criminal investigation, but can't say much else about what caused those explosions, and it has neighbors asking all sorts of questions in the area. There's a neighborhood watch in Clarendon Estates, but this story is about what everybody heard.
It was definitely louder than a gunshot or fireworks or anything. It was an explosion.
We almost could feel the vibration in the house.
All that's left from a Saturday explosion in York County: pink powder, pieces of plastic bags, and a lot of mystery among the neighbors who live here.
That's really scary, kind of, in a quiet neighborhood like this.
The noises came from a property lot that is down from a cul-de-sac. It requires walking or driving up a dirt path. A neighbor reported seeing a suspicious car in the area before the explosion and again afterwards.
A lot of people come to look at lots in this fall and through the summer, and we just figured it was somebody lot looking.
While some wonder if the loud boom came at the hands of teenagers, the sheriff's office says they've launched an investigation to see who's involved and if a crime was committed.
I mean, sure, kids do fireworks and stuff like that, but that was not a kid planning.
Other neighbors like John Anderson tell me they heard more loud noises the very next day.
While I was still out there cleaning the table off, bang, you hear another one down there. Well, these people, this is not target practice because, you know, I've shotguns all my life, and you don't shoot, load up, wait a half an hour, and shoot again.
The property owner says he has no idea who would be on his land. He plans to buy no trespassing signs to keep people off his lot while deputies investigate.
And I hope they solve it. I hope they find whoever did it, because that was malicious.
Now, responding deputies described the area as a crater about 5 feet in diameter. Again, no word on what caused the explosion. As soon as we learn anything, we'll be sure to pass it to you first. For now, reporting live in York County, Michael Clark, WBTV on your side.
Loud noise reported in Springfield, Missouri late Saturday night, August 30th, 2015. Perhaps you heard a very loud noise late Saturday night. You are not alone. The Springfield Police Department says they responded to several calls about a loud noise in the area of Battlefield and 65 around 11:30 Saturday night. One witness tells us that the unexplained noise sounded like a house exploded and that it was so intense the windows at his own house rattled. Police say they went out to investigate, but could not locate the source of the noise. End quote. There have been mystery booms in this area back in 2014. Here is another possible mystery boom in the UK, August 31st, 2015. Most mystery booms in Europe seem to happen over the UK, but most over the US. Quote, did you hear loud bang in West Bridgeford? Residents have been left confused after hearing a loud explosion in West Bridgeford. Speaking on the Post's Facebook page, locals said they heard the bang in Alfred Road on Sunday at about 10:30 p.m. Zoe Cook, who lives on the street, said she did not know what caused the sound, but people went out onto the street. The 41-year-old added, I was sitting in my living room when I heard what sounded like a really loud firework and felt my whole house shook. I went outside the front door to have a look but couldn't see anything, except my neighbors having a look too. I'm really curious to see how many people heard it and what it was. The Post has contacted Nottinghamshire Police to find out if they know anything about the noise. End quote. It seems for summer 2015 the booms are becoming less frequent, but I predict it to start increasing during the winter and again for people to assume it's frost quakes. For that is what the phenomenon may want us to think. I also think the phenomenon may be transition into loud bangs instead of booms. These will be harder to detect because they would only cause vibration and many will assume fireworks or a shotgun. I say this because I started noticing articles and Facebook posts about loud bangs, and I also heard some unusual loud bangs back in July and saw a red UFO appear very close that same night. I don't know if this is a message to me or simply a coincidence. Also, I will admit I might be mistaking some earthquakes as mystery booms. It is possible but rare for very shallow quakes to cause loud booms at the epicenter. So for the 50 reports I've documented so far for 2015, I would say there could be a margin of error of 10. To be conservative, I try to ignore possible mystery boom quakes in earthquake-prone regions, but that isn't to say they aren't happening along with the normal quakes. Let us know if you heard any unusual loud boom or bangs.